Hi everyone, this is Bob Fulds here coming from the kitchen. And for those that followed the last post here on Instagram, right, the announcement of new music is coming. I do have the date for you. It is the 27th of November, Black Friday. And the title of the album, the fourth album, is Kitchen Musician. All right, so this video, as you saw about it, right, enough about me, is talking about, okay, how do I go about in terms of mixing, mastering, and then finally, what does it mean to actually use, for example, EQ, right? So as you see here, one of the things that is very critical is about the volume. I think compared to all the different instruments in our previous videos and showing how to create real drums, quotation marks around that, from a real drum set and bring that over into the computer. Well, if you go back a little bit to that, you notice that some of those were a little bit more rough around the hard edges. Now that's cool for some music, and definitely one of those beats that you heard previously is actually a beat in one of the songs. But there also is, or it's not always the best for every single style, right? So here we're looking at Kitchen Musician, the self-titled song, right? And to give you a little bit of a breakdown here, and don't worry, you're going to hear a little snippet at the end, is basically, as you see, working here, first each of the individual drums, and then what we're going to do is we're going to take it after messing around with the volume to look over at the pan, right? The pan is probably the other area of most importance when it comes to the sound. Think of it as when you have your headphones on or you've got surround sound, this is the best way to hear it. You hear those sounds in the movies, right, or from your favorite albums, and they're not all coming from the same area. You have it go right down the center of the pan. That's great, but it doesn't really give the whole picture. And one of the cool things is trying to get that sound to be more of like if you're actually sitting in a concert, right? So the other aspect, continuing that, is the EQ. Now, as these sounds are recorded, the drums are probably in general, what I've been reading, is always the most problematic and signature, so there's a positive side to it. But it's getting that exact sound that you want out of it, right? So as you see here, I'm messing around with the EQ. Simply put, it looks like a very weird graph that is in front of you. Don't be afraid of it. It's not too bad. Simply put, if you want to reduce a little bit, right, a little bit of, say, boxiness, then you're going to move things up here about 2 or 3 decibels. And mostly it's going to fall around the 100 region. Now, if you want to reduce the sound of cardboard, right, and this is particularly in the snare, then it's around the 1K marker. As you see here, you want to bring that down roughly about 2 or 3. It's like small little touches. You can really make things different. Perfect example is this artist, Mac DeMarco. He is perfect example of this where he plays around with that. Most modern music is not too much on that. Right? So in a nutshell, before balancing the music, right, and releasing the final product, those are the things. The last but not least is looking into the actual scale. For Logic or GarageBand, it's at the top. But basically, as your master, what kind of dBs you want. Personally, I like around the minus 3.5, but most more music, and I actually have to put mine up to that. First time I released it was a little bit too low, to roughly about the negative 2.8 to 2.5 region. All right, so that's producing the full sound, what you're hearing from other main artists that are coming out, or also it's called in the past CD quality, right? Sort of the golden standard, and bringing that back in. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video. These are very just quick tips, right? Feel free to watch at the end. Shoot me a comment. in case you have questions also about in terms of messing around with the EQ or also in panning. Be happy to help, happy to answer those. Last but not least, I promise you the sound of Kitchen Musician, a little bit of it. Here it is. Yeah, and cool. Anyways, appreciate the time. Thank you for tuning in, as always, to the DIY Musician Project. If you like the video, if you think it helps, or you want to hear more, hit that subscribe button. It really helps a big ton. All right, thank you very much. Bob Fulds out.